Hello, my name is John Ramsey and I'm the principal agent here at Covenant Insurance. Covenant Insurance is a brokerage. We represent a lot of different plans, Medicare Supplements, Medicare Advantage, life insurance, all sorts of insurances. We also do home and auto and several other insurances like that. But my passion as the principal agent here is Medicare products, or the senior market, so to speak. Covenant Insurance is licensed in Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, and Florida, and will probably expand into North Carolina probably at the end of this year. This particular video is an instructional only video. Okay, I'm not trying to steer you towards any particular product. I'm not trying to steer you into my office. This is for your knowledge and for your good information benefit, okay? Because my experience with someone, especially if they are turning 65 and about to be a Medicare beneficiary, well, I know that you have mail stacked up above your head. You have people knocking on your door. Your phone is ringing off the hook because everyone is wanting to become your agent or sell you a plan, so to speak. And also in your circle of friends, you probably have neighbors and friends and family that's already on Medicare, and so they tell you how wonderful their plan is and the benefits of their plan, but they may not particularly know exactly what they have. And then you have another friend that has something completely different, and they tell you that that's the best plan and things like that. But the thing about it is, you are an individual. You have your own medical conditions, if you have any medical conditions at all. You have your own set of doctors that you go see. You have your own drugs that you take, if you take any drugs at all. So what works for one person may not work for another person. Even when it comes down to a husband and wife team, I've had several people sit right here in my office, and what works for the husband may not work for the wife, and vice versa. So it's a very individualized roadmap that you have. And so my goal today is to help you make sense of all that and to try to simplify the process, because a lot of these agents, they really don't understand everything going on with it, and so they make it a whole lot more complicated than it actually is. Medicare is actually a very simple thing. It's just you have to wrap your head around it, and I have the experience and the knowledge to help you with that, because I have a passion for it. Let me say another thing. There'll be a lot of people call you and tell you that they can offer you some exclusive deal or something like that, but there's not really anything out there that a company offers that a brokerage like myself can offer you. And so my advice, of course, if you live in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama, or any of those states, you're welcome to call us. My cell phone number is 423-902-7222, and I'll be happy to help you any way that I can. If you live outside of my network of these couple of states, then I would be more than happy to answer any question that you have and try to direct you to an agent in that area, because I'm part of a huge network of agents. So I'll be happy to help you any way I can. Let's get right into it. Now, we've done 2 other videos, and we have several other videos to follow this. We've done one video on Medicare Part A. Let me erase all this. We've done one video on Medicare Part B, and in those, what I've tried to do was go in depth in it, but still make it simple, if that makes sense, if you think there's even a possibility. So while I'm going to talk about Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B today, and Medicare Part C, Medicare Part D, I'm going to talk about those, but I'm not going to go into deep depths. But let's talk about this a minute. Medicare is set up in parts. Okay, now there's also Medicare plans out there as well. You'll hear people talk about Plan F. You'll hear people talk about a Plan G. You'll hear people talk about a Plan N or things like that. Don't get plans and parts mixed up, okay? Medicare is set up with Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B, Medicare Part C, and Medicare Part D, all right? And while I'm not going to go deep in the depths on each one of those, like I said, we are going to just briefly go over what these are. Medicare Part A is your places, okay? And when I say places, I mean that's your hospital care, that's your skilled nursing facility, it's your home health. Now, when I say home health, I'm not talking about custodial care. I'm not talking about someone coming in and doing your laundry and your grocery shopping for you or meals delivered to your home. I'm talking about a nurse coming to visit you to take your blood pressure or follow up after doctor visits, or I'm talking about home physical therapy or home occupational therapy or something like that, okay? It also covers hospice, and it also includes blood. All right. Medicare Part A, if you work at least 40 quarters in your life, then Medicare Part A costs you nothing. Now, if you work less than 40 quarters, not 40 years, 40 quarters, which is about 10 years of your life, and your earnings are reported into the government, then your premium is zero. If you have worked under the table most of your life or self-employed and never reported in or didn't quite work the full 40 quarters, you can go to my other video about Medicare Part A and you can find out what your premiums will be on that, because I'm not going to go in deep depths on that right now. But this is your places. By the way, everything I say today is going to be fact, unless I say my opinion is, or this is what I would do, or anything like that, because what I would do and $1.50 will buy you about will almost buy you a cup of coffee. But I just have a lot of years in this field, and so I've seen a lot, believe me. All right, so Medicare Part A is your places, okay? Medicare Part B is your people. Now, when I say people, I'm talking about doctors, I'm talking about lab tests, I'm talking about any kind of test that they can run on you, I'm talking about ambulance care, durable medical equipment, anything like that, all right? And the premium for 2020, and by the way, this video is filmed in 2020, and so if you're watching this video in another year, these costs might be a little bit different, but the basis of what I'm saying is still going to probably be the same. All right. So Medicare Part B, which is your people, okay, it costs $144.60 per month, and typically that's taken directly from your Social Security check. And if you're not going to draw your Social Security yet, you're going to wait till 66 or 67 to draw it. Then Medicare will bill you quarterly for that. Now, if you make more than about $82,000, I think it is $87,000. If you make it $87,000 or less, that's what your premium is. If you make more than that, then there's a scale on Medicare.gov that will tell you exactly what your premium will be. Okay. So Medicare Part B is going to cost you at least $144.60 per month. Medicare Part B has a deductible of $198 for the 2020 year. And we'll just keep this number in our head for future things I'm about to say. Medicare Part C is called Medicare Advantage. okay? And basically, this is one of the routes that you can take once you have your Medicare A and B. This is one of the routes that you can take. So we're going to skip over talking about this right now. I'll expound on this a little more later on. And then of course you have your Medicare Part D, which is your drug coverage. Okay, prescription drugs, by the way. All right, so as you can see, Medicare Part A covers your places. Medicare Part B is your doctors, is your tests, is your durable medical equipment, your ambulance, anything to do with medical insurance other than staying at a hospital or a skilled nursing facility or one of these guys. All right. Then of course we have Medicare Advantage and drug coverage. So we got this in place. So what do we do now? Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Now I'm going to keep $198 right here, just so we'll kind of keep that in mind, because that is the deductible for Part D, and Part B, which you'll see why that's important here in a minute. Now basically there's two ways to go. You hear some people say, well, you need to get a supplement. You need to get a supplement. Everybody says, oh, you need to get a supplement. Well, a supplement is a good way to go. Absolutely. A lot of my book of business is people that have a Medicare supplement. And my dad has a Medicare supplement. Is that the best way to go? Well, first of all, I can't use words like best, because when you're talking about Medicare, there is no best. There's things that can be cost efficient, and there's a way we can fill a lot of gaps, but there's really no best way to describe any of these plans, because all of them have their ups, all of them have their downs, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that. All right. So there's two ways to go. The first way is buy a supplement. Now, what does a supplement do? And by the way, I'm going to do a video on nothing but Medicare supplements. And I'm not going to name any particular company name, because there are a lot of good companies out there. And different companies are more competitive in different areas. So I'm not going to name any names of any companies on here, because I don't want you to think that I'm trying to steer you towards one plan or another. Okay. So there's a lot of gaps when you talk about Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B. One of the gaps is the $198 deductible. Medicare Part B is also an 80-20 plan. Okay, so 80-20, which is similar to the employer coverage that you probably have had for many years at your job, and that don't seem like too bad of a thing, because you take a $100 doctor bill, okay, Medicare pays 80%, $80, and you pay $20. That's not too bad, okay? I don't mind spending $20 going to the doctor. It's not bad at all. The problem is when you start adding zeros out here, and you start running up all kinds of big tests and services and things like that, and you run up $100,000 or whatever the cost, well, Medicare is going to pay 80% of it, $80,000, but then you got to come up with this, the other 20%. So also Medicare Part A has a deductible. It also has cost per day for hospital care, cost per day for skilled nursing facilities. And so you got all these gaps and all these question marks, okay? So a Medicare supplement is a way that you can take care of most of these question marks. Well, actually all the question marks when it comes to hospital or medical care. Now drugs is a completely different ball game. Okay, so what you can do is you can buy a Medicare supplement. Now, if you turn 65 after January 1st of 2020, the most comprehensive plan that is available is going to be a plan, not a part, but a plan G, okay? And again, we're going to do a whole video on nothing but the differences between different Medicare supplements. So Medicare Plan G will cost you probably in the neighborhood, let's just say in the state of Georgia. Now Tennessee's a little cheaper, South Carolina's got different rates, Alabama's got different rates, every state has different rates, and then you have different areas of the state that may have different rates. But just for the sake of this video and to have kind of a round figure, let's just say $120 a month. So let's say company ABC, okay, insurance company ABC, they are in your area and they have a very competitive priced supplement plan that's $120, okay? Now, let me say this real quick. All Medicare supplement plans are standardized. Now, you'll see a lot of commercials on TV about these big name Medicare supplements, okay? Typically, if you have seen their commercials, well, somebody's got to pay for that advertisement, and that cost typically trickles down to who's paying the bills, the policyholders. So just because Grandma Lucy had a big name Medicare supplement that paid out really good, you know, that doesn't mean that that's going to be the best plan. Typically they say you get what you pay for. Well, that's not necessarily true whenever it comes to a Medicare supplement policy. It's kind of like buying Mayfield milk. You got 5 different stores in your town that sells Mayfield milk, but one of them might be a little cheaper than the other one. Well, it's still Mayfield milk. It's not a generic. It's not some other off-brand. It's still Mayfield milk. And so therefore, you would want to go to the place that would have it for the best price. So a lot of companies that offer Medicare supplements, they have to pay out just as good as the big name Medicare supplements because they're all standardized. They have very strict guidelines that they have to go by to be able to offer you a Medicare supplement, and they have to pay out just as good as another company, okay? So let's say company ABC is not one that you've ever heard of. None of your friends have it. Well, when you walk into your doctor's office, when they look at your card and they see that you have a Plan G, well, they're going to say, yes, we accept that because we accept original Medicare, and we know that the Plan G, whatever the name of the company is going to pay out because they have to, because they're regulated by Medicare, okay? So, company ABC has the going rate in your area of $120. So we say, yeah, we want to do that. We can afford that because the Medicare Part B is going to cost us $144.60. Okay, so this is going to come right out of our check. We're going to pay company ABC to fill all the gaps on Part A, to fill all the gaps on Part B, with the exception of this deductible right here of $198. So the way that works, you're paying company ABC to pay your 20% for you after that deductible. So in January, you go to the doctor, okay, they charge you, let's say $120. Well, Medicare is going to look at that and they're going to say, well, they haven't met their Part B deductible yet, so go ahead and bill them that entire amount as long as it goes with the Medicare rates, because Medicare assignment is what Medicare dictates what the doctors can charge you. Okay, so Medicare looks at that. They say, okay, that fits into our assignment, and so you can go ahead and bill them that. Well, the next time it goes around, you go back for a follow-up visit. They try to bill that again. Medicare says, well, they still haven't filled that whole $198, so go ahead and bill them the balance, and then the rest of it will then, Medicare will pay 80%, and then the supplement plan will pay the 20%. So if you can even imagine paying $198 a year for your doctor visits, and then every time you go after that, no matter if you go into the hospital for 20 days or what, as long as it's medically necessary and approved by Medicare, okay, you're not going to have a bunch of bills stacking up in your mailbox, because Medicare is going to pay the 80 and then company ABC is going to pay the 20. But you're going to pay company ABC $120 a month to pay your 20% for you and all your Part A gaps. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the message bar, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions, because I know I went over that kind of fast. So we got Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B. We got us a supplement. So we got all of our medical parts. We got our preventive care taken care of. We have any tests that they're going to want to do to us, any type of follow-up visits, any type of treatment therapy, medically necessary. We're set. Okay, we got this in place. Medicare is in place. You have to have Medicare Part A and B to be able to get on a supplement. You can't say, well, I'll buy the supplement and do away with this. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to have Medicare Part A, be enrolled in Medicare Part B to be able to access this. Now, we have everything going for us with the exception of drugs. So what you do is you find a stand-alone Part D plan. Now, I'm going to do a full video on how I do Medicare Part D. It's a very complex system, and these plans change every single year, by the way. And so once you get on a Part D plan, I would have it checked every single year. I have clients that come in my door, and the only thing I'm doing for them is checking their Medicare Part D plan to make sure that the plan that they're on is going to be the most cost-efficient plan, not the best, because there is no best. A best would be it paid everything, but that doesn't exist. A Part D plan is going to cover most generics, most name brand drugs. Some will be preferred, some will be non-preferred, so on and so forth. But we'll talk about that later on. But what you've got to do is you've got to find a good Part D plan, and I would get someone that specializes in this to help you out with that, because if you call the company, well, let me just leave that alone. Find you someone to help you, okay? Because it's a very complex thing, and it amazes me. Clients that I've never had before will come in and they'll say, this agent put me on this plan, or I went online and I went on this plan because my neighbor said that that's the plan that they were on, and I'll run it and I save them $3,000 for the next year. I mean, and that is, you know, typically a new client of mine, I save them between $1,200 and $3,000 a year just by running their drugs and trying to find them, trying to right fit as close as I possibly can. Anyway, so what you do is you got your Medicare, you got your supplement, okay, ABCs. I got you a supplement. And by the way, there's if you're aging into Medicare or turning 65, I should say, you have an open window to be able to get in on one of these plans with no health questions asked, okay? And you don't have to worry about pre-existing conditions and all that stuff. You have a open door, okay? Now, after 6 months, after the month that you turn 65, if you wait 7 months down the road, then you'll have to start answering health questions, which may not be a problem. But just keep that in mind. All right, so what you do is you got your Medicare Part A, your B, you got it coming out of your check every month. You're going to pay insurance company ABC $120 a month. Now what you do is you bring in your standalone Part D. Let's just say it's $20 a month, okay? Some plans are cheaper than that, some plans are more. The national average plan is about $32.74, okay? But there are plans out there that that are less expensive. Now, again, less expensive with a Medicare product does not mean it's worse. I have people that they want to buy the premium plans, and they end up paying a whole lot more for their drugs and their services than they would just buying one of the other plans. That's why it's crucial, and I will have a video of step by step how I go in and determine how to be cost efficient with the Medicare Part D, and I feel like it'll be very beneficial to you. Anyway, okay. So, with this road, okay, this is the supplement roadmap. You got your Medicare A and B covered. You got your Medicare Supplement, and there's a couple other plans that you can buy out there. The Plan G is just the most comprehensive that you can buy turning 65 in 2020. There's if you're older than that, if you turn 65 back in 2019, then you have access to what's called a Plan F that covers that covers every gap with Medicare. And so basically you pay the monthly bill every month, but you never get any bills in the mail, okay? But as of January 1st, 2020, if you've turned 65 in 2020 and forward, the most comprehensive plan that you can buy is the Plan G. There's also a Plan N that's good. There's high deductible Plan Gs, okay, and several other ones. So, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to keep you on this too long. So the total cost of everything, you got $144.66, $120 for your Medicare Supplement. Then you got, let's say, $20 for the Part D plan, so 0, 6, 4, 4, 6, 8, so $284 a month, and you're pretty well covered. All right, so that's route number one. Route number two, okay, goes like this. There's Medicare Advantage. Now, Medicare Advantage, you still have your Medicare Part A and your B in the background. Okay, so you still keep your $144.60 a month. You know, you still keep your Part B. What this is where they take Medicare Part A, B, and sometimes D, and they put it in a little box, and they put a little bow tie on it, and make a pretty little package out of it, and package Medicare for you. Now, what do you mean by that? And that's kind of a crude way of putting it, and that definitely wouldn't meet CMS guidelines by any means, and so I hope I don't get in trouble for that. But anyway, what this is where you ask a private insurance company. Now, again, I'm not going to mention any names of companies, okay? And there's not one that I prefer over another one. But there's plans out there, companies. Well, I'll just name some off for the Georgia area, okay? In Georgia, and I'm not going to name them in any particular order because I don't favor any one. There's Humana, there's Cigna Medicare, there's United Healthcare, there's Aetna. In Tennessee, there's Blue Cross of Tennessee that has an Advantage plan. All of them work well for different people. You know, I've sat down in front of a husband and wife. One of them, it would work better for one company. The other one, it would work better for another company. You know, it's just according to, because, and the reason why I say that, with this, you're still going to have copays. Okay, you have networks. Okay. Because this is not a Medicare supplement. This is not picking up where Medicare leaves off, like the plan I talked about a while ago, the Plan G, through company ABC. Okay, this is not a way of doing that. This is where you have a private insurance company such as Humana or United Healthcare, one of those guys, manage your Medicare for you. So basically what they're doing is they're covering everything that Medicare covers, okay? But then sometimes they add in additional benefits, and you'll see commercials sometimes that'll say, you may not be getting all the benefits that you qualify for, because there's plans out there that has dental, vision, hearing aid benefits. There's plans out there that gives you a gym membership, silver sneakers, or silver and fit, depending on the company who they deal with. I'm just gonna put silver and fit, but there's silver sneakers. There's a couple different ones out there. So with this, this is covering your hospital. This is covering your doctor's services. There's some plans that cover drugs, and so basically you would carry around one card. Okay, Medicare is still in the background. I've heard people in these doctor's offices say, "Oh, well, you don't have Medicare anymore because you have managed care." Well, that's not entirely true. Medicare is still in the background. You're still paying Medicare Part B every month. Medicare is still in the background, okay? And so you're still a Medicare beneficiary. They're not taking away your Medicare privileges, okay? The insurance company is basically managing your hospital bills, your doctor bills. You would take that card also if you have a Medicare Advantage with prescription drug plan, what they call it MAPD. That would be your drug plan as well. And so you still have copays. So there's a lot of plans that for a primary care doctor you pay like $5 or $10 or $15. For a specialist you would pay anywhere from $35 to $45, depending on what plan you have. And of course, I'm not going to name any particular benefit here. For hospital, you would have a per day benefit there. But there are no deductibles for medical services with most of these plans. Some of them do have a drug deductible, but as far as for Medicare Part A and B, there typically is no deductibles. And so you say, well, John, why would I want something like that if I'm still going to have to pay copays, and I'm still going to have to pay for this, that, and the other. Well, I'll tell you. The number one reason why I sell Medicare Advantage. You remember a while ago whenever we were doing the old $100 doctor bill, Medicare pays 80 and you pay 20, okay? That's not bad. And then I said, let's go out here and let's put some zeros out here. Now, is this easy? Well, you might come up with $20,000 a couple of times. It'd be hard for me to come up with $20,000 right now, I'll just be honest. But what these plans impose is what's called a maximum out of pocket, or a MOOP, not a deductible. Most of these plans have zero medical deductible. Okay, so the plan starts paying from day one. But this year, most of the plan, or well, really all the plans in this area, of course, you know, every state has different plans, different areas. But it imposes a maximum out of pocket of $6,700. Okay, so you don't have to worry about running up a $20,000 doctor bill or a $100,000 medical bill or anything like that. The most coming out of your pocket is going to be $6,700. It would be easier for me to come up with this than to come up with this. This may still be hard to get to, and you know, I've only seen maybe 2 people since I've been selling Medicare. Back in 2014, I've only seen 2 people actually hit this, but that's, you know, that's neither here nor there. But this is the main reason why I sell that, because somebody will say, you know, I have the red, white, and blue, the Medicare card. I don't need anything else. I got my drug plan. That's great. But what's going to happen? God forbid, if something catastrophic happens to you, and you got to come up with 20%. Let's put a stop loss in place, because hey, most of these plans have little to no premium to them. There's plans in our county right now that have a 0 premium. Some of the plans may have a $45 a month premium. One of the plans I think has a $78 premium. But why not grab a hold to, let's say, a 0 premium plan, to put a stop loss in place, a maximum out of pocket, just to help add a layer of protection that's not going to cost you anything or not cost you much, you know. And then also, it also adds in the dental benefit. It also adds in the vision benefit. Typically, these vision benefits will pay so much towards you a pair of glasses every year and cover your eye exam. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of benefit to a Medicare Advantage plan. Of course, I'm going to do a whole video on nothing but Medicare Advantage, but so I'm not going to go much deeper than this. But another thing, let's say that person's paying, yeah, they have just the red, white, and blue, and they have their little drug plan. Well, remember a while ago we talked about it. The average plan in America is $32.70. Of course, some people have, you know, is less than that. I think the least expensive plan in our county is $14.60. I think it is. But if you can get good drug coverage for a 0 premium and get this protection over here, why not? Am I saying that Medicare Advantage is the best way to go? No. There's people, I mean, my dad is not on Medicare Advantage. My dad is on a supplement. And so, you know, it's just all according to what what's in your pocket, okay, what your budget is, how many times you go to the doctor, what you're comfortable in paying. Because in this scenario, you're paying the $144.60 a month for your Part B and nothing else. Or a small premium. Now, the advantages and disadvantages between a supplement, Med Sup, and Med Advantage. Here's the truth, okay? A supplement typically has no networks. As long as the doctor accepts Medicare, okay, they will accept your Medicare supplement because there's no networks. It's not that there's no contractual limitations because you have Medicare assignment in place. Okay, so if it's a medically necessary service that you're having done, Medicare is going to tell them what they can bill you. Okay, after you've met your deductible for the year, if you have a Plan G, Medicare is going to pay their part, and then the supplement's going to pay the other part. So you can travel good with it. Okay, so no networks, but the downside is you got to pay, typically, let's just say $120 a month. And of course, there's some plans that's more expensive than that. There's some plans that's a little less than that. We'll talk about that later on in another video. With the Medicare Advantage, you get all the extra little benefits, the dental, the vision, the hearing, typically. You get, a lot of them have the free gym membership. A lot of them have other little benefits. There's some plans that will actually give you an allowance every 3 months to buy items from their over-the-counter store for like Band-Aids and cough syrups and ankle braces and all sorts of things. The disadvantages, which doesn't necessarily have to be a disadvantage, and again, I'm not trying to steer you towards this or this, but there are networks, okay, and typically traveling could be an issue. Now, all of these plans are going to offer emergency coverage. So if you are, let's say your home state is Georgia and you're in Florida and you get stung by a jellyfish or something like that, if you go to a regular doctor, well, that's probably going to be out of network. But if you think that it's life-threatening and you go into an emergency room, then that emergency room is going to pay the plan is going to cover your emergency care, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you do have networks, and there are HMOs, PPOs, so on and so forth, which I'm not going to get deep into that right now. But the advantages is that you have little to no copays over here, but you have little to no premium. Okay, so little to no premium over here. Your dental, vision, hearing, typically, and other benefits that the plan may have to be attractive. Okay, but the disadvantages is you still have copays, you have networks, so on and so forth. Whereas over here, you have no networks, typically no copays. Now there is a Medicare supplement that you still have a copay, but typically you're not going to have any copays. You just have to pay a lot more per month, and then you also have to get your standalone Part D plan, which could cost anywhere from $14 typically to about, I mean, I've seen some for $115 a month, just depending on, of course, I don't think I've ever sold anybody a $115 a month Part D plan, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So as you can see, there's two paths. There's the Medicare Supplement path, and then there's the Advantage path. Okay. I know this has been clear as mud, but I think if you go back and you, because I'm going to do a video on nothing but supplements. I'm going to do nothing but a video on Medicare Advantage. But typically, whenever I have two clients in front of me, okay, this is what I do, and most of the time they look relieved. They're like, well, that's a lot easier than I thought. So, feel free to hit like on the video. I'm going to have this on, of course I recorded this on Facebook Live, but I'm also going to have this on our YouTube channel. And also feel free to go to Covenant, C-O-V-E-N-A-N-T, CovenantLifeAndHealth.com. That is our company website. My name is John Ramsey, and again, my cell phone number is 423-902-7222. I'm here to help you. Whether you become my client or not, I'm still going to help you any way I can, because I have a passion for this, and I hope that it shows. Thank you very much.